He's an award-winning scientist and engineer, a millionaire several times over because of his inventions.
Ray Kurzweil.
If you go back 500 years, not much happened in a century. Now a lot happens in 6 months. Technology feeds on itself and it gets faster and faster. It's going to continue, and in about 40 years it's going to be moving so fast, the pace of change is going to be so astonishingly quick that you won't be able to follow it unless you enhance your own intelligence by merging with the intelligent technology we're creating. As we get to the 2030s, you're not going to be able to tell a clear difference between human and machine intelligence. I do plan to bring back my father.
This guy is freaky. He says computers will have consciousness in just 25 years.
The reason I'm calling today is to express my disappointment that you have invited this highly sophisticated crackpot and given him a national forum to express his pseudo-religious predictions that have no basis in objective reality.
These inventions may end up causing the worst war that humanity's ever had.
Corporations and governments and societies will be created and destroyed on the back of the technology that this book describes. It's going to scare a lot of people.
The world is changing far too fast. Nothing like this has ever happened to Homo sapiens before.
I think Ray is performing in the service of a prophet. That's wrong.
Inventor Ray Kurzweil thinks that one day humans may be able to live forever.
Ray Kurzweil is an intelligent man with what some think are some outrageous predictions on where technology could take us. What I wanted to do with my open project was simply take these ideas of Ray Kurzweil and his predictions and rather look at them in a very deep sense. Look at the nanotechnology and how it relates to present day and the possibility of how it really could advance by the year 2045. Now, Ray Kurzweil predicted that by the year 2045, nanotechnology will be so advanced that it will be in human brains in order to download information to computers and also take these virtual reality tours into basically the subconscious of someone's mind. Now, I found these predictions very interesting, and I wanted to dive in deeper to the nanotechnology and specifically what Ray Kurzweil's predictions were on that.
By 2020, we'll have computers that are powerful enough to simulate the human brain, but we won't be finished yet with reverse engineering the human brain and understanding its methods. One of my main themes, and I've developed this thesis over 30 years, is that information technology grows exponentially. The power of computers, our understanding of the human brain, the spatial resolution of brain scanning, the number of bits we move around the internet. I mean, many different measures of information technology double every 1 year, or every 11 months, 13 months, depending on what you're measuring. So these technologies will be 1 million times more powerful within 20 years. 20 years. By 2029, and I've been quite consistent on this date, we will have completed the reverse engineering of the human brain. And we've already made very good progress on that. We've reverse engineered a number of different regions, like the cerebellum, which is responsible for our skill formation, and slices of the cerebral cortex where we do our recursive thinking, and the auditory cortex, the visual cortex, and so on. By 2029, we'll have reverse engineered and modeled and simulated all the regions of the brain, and that will provide us the software, algorithmic methods to simulate, all of the human brain's capabilities, including our emotional intelligence. And computers at that time will be far more powerful than the human brain. And we'll be able to create machines that really do have the subtlety and suppleness of human intelligence. And they'll combine that power with ways in which machines are already superior to us. They can harness all of human knowledge with a few keystrokes. It can remember billions of things accurately. They can share knowledge at electronic speeds that are 1 million times faster than human language. So it'll be a very powerful combination. But the last point I'll make is that it's not some alien invasion of intelligent machines coming from Mars to invade us. It's coming from within our civilization, and the whole point of it is to extend our reach. Ever since we picked up a stick to reach a higher branch, we've used our tools to extend our reach. We can now already extend our reach mentally. I can take out a device from my pocket and access all of human knowledge with a few keystrokes. Half the farmers in China have these devices and can do the same thing. It is spawning a real cultural revolution in China and around the world, and these tools are continuing to grow exponentially in power. By 2045, we'll have expanded the intelligence of our human-machine civilization a billionfold. That will be a singularity. And we borrowed this metaphor from physics to talk about an event horizon that's hard to see beyond.
But it's not just an alien invasion of intelligent machines. We are going to merge with our technology. These nanobots I mentioned will first be used for medical and health applications, cleaning up the environment, providing powerful fuel cells and widely distributed decentralized solar panels and so on in the environment. But they'll also go inside our brain, interact with our biological neurons. We've demonstrated the key principles of being able to do this. So, for example, full immersion virtual reality from within the nervous system. The nanobots shut down the signals coming from your real senses, replace them with the signals that your brain would be receiving if you were in the virtual environment. And then it'll feel like you're in that virtual environment. You can go there with other people, have any kind of experience with anyone involving all of the senses. Experience beamers, I call them, will put their whole flow of sensory experiences and the neurological correlates of their emotions out on the internet. You can plug in and experience what it's like to be someone else. But most importantly, it'll be a tremendous expansion of human intelligence through this direct merger with our technology, which in some sense we're doing already. We routinely do intellectual feats that would be impossible without our technology. Human life expectancy is expanding. It was 37 in 1800. And with this sort of biotechnology and nanotechnology revolutions, this will move up very rapidly in the years ahead. My main message is that progress in technology is exponential, not linear. Many, even scientists, assume a linear model. So they'll say, oh, it'll be hundreds of years before we have self-replicating nanotechnology assembly or artificial intelligence. If you really look at the power of exponential growth, you'll see that these things are pretty soon at hand. And information technology is increasingly encompassing all of our lives, from our music to our manufacturing to our biology to our energy to materials. We'll be able to manufacture almost anything we need in the 2020s, from information and very inexpensive raw materials using nanotechnology. These are very powerful technologies. They both empower our promise and our peril. So we have to have the will to apply them to the right problems. Thank you very much.
While I was only able to feature a few of the interviews in this documentary, I did interview about 49 people, ranging from faculty to students. Some, of course, did not want to be on camera, but I was able to ask them the simple questions of nanotechnology, if they knew about it, what they thought about it, and if they thought the possibility of nanobots being in our brain by the year 2045 could occur.
Okay, so do you believe in, or have you heard of Ray Kurzweil's prediction of nanobots in your brain?
No.
Do you basically know what nanobots are?
I think I could think of an idea, but I don't know what they are exactly.
Well, first of all, do you think that it would one day be possible for humans to download information, such as plugging our brains into a computer and downloading information to store in our brains?
Yeah, I've heard of things like that. I've read an article online where it talked about, they're looking at new technology to where they can put a microchip into our brain and sync it up with the TV to where we can change the channels just by thinking what channel we want to go to.
Okay. Do you think it's possible by the year 2045?
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about having technology like that right now. So, I mean, technology is always advancing. I definitely think it's possible.
What could some negative side effects of this technology be?
Well, you always see the scary movies where, oh, look, technology's taking over the world, and yeah, robots are going to take over, like an iRobot or something. So, I mean, I guess it's possible that something like that could happen.
All right, thanks. All right. So have you heard of Ray Kurzweil's prediction of nanobots being in our brains?
I have not, no.
Okay. Do you know what nanobot technology kind of is based around?
Yes, I do, yes.
Okay. And what do you think it is possible for nanobots to be in our brain by the year 2045?
I think it's possible, yeah.
Yeah. And do you think it's possible to the extent where we'd be able to download information into our brains just by plugging into a computer?
I think it's very probable that it's possible.
What could some like negative side effects of this technology be?
Nanobots taking over the world.
Yeah.
Destroying all humans.
And do you think the prediction is kind of outrageous, or do you think it's rather accurate that it could actually occur in 2045?
I think the year might be a little bit soon, but I think it's possible. It's very possible that it will happen in the future. So.
Okay. Thank you. So have you heard of Ray Kurzweil's prediction of nanobot technology?
Sort of, yes.
Okay. Do you know what nanobot technology is?
Yes. Yeah. Do you want me to explain or yes?
No.
Okay, yes.
And do you think that Ray Kurzweil's prediction of nanobots being able to basically download information from computers into our brains would be possible by the year 2045?
I don't know if it would be possible by 2045, but I think it's possible. It would make life a lot easier, I think.
And do you think it's a radical prediction, or do you think it's definitely possible?
I think it's really possible. I just like time frame is really weird. Like, I mean, I feel like it took us forever to get to the moon, and now we've never gone back, and we should have like progressing technology. So I don't know.
And do you think that it is possible that there could be some very negative side effects to this technology?
Yeah. Your brain would kind of be like a computer essentially, and I'm sure there'd be all kinds of viruses and things on there that would probably not be very good for your brain or body or your circuits or whatever would go on in your little nanobot world.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
So, have you heard of Ray Kurzweil's prediction of nanobot technology?
No.
Okay, do you know what nanobot technology is?
A little bit.
And do you think that the prediction of Ray Kurzweil's nanobot technology being able to download information from computers into our brains would be possible by the year 2045?
I don't want to say it's not possible. That's a really scary thing to think about.
Okay.
About it being possible.
Do you think there'd be a lot of like negative side effects?
I think there would, because being like the human anatomy, I don't think that was the way it was designed to be, and I think that there could be a lot of hiccups and glitches along the way, and it would be a really weird thing to test out.
Do you think it's something like, if, say, this technology was around when we were alive, would you use it?
No.
Okay. Why?
You're asking a lot of questions. I don't think I'd use it because I don't think I'd want to put my body through that, with the potential of like something happening and all of the questions being unanswered with it right now. But it could be possible if I knew more information about it in later years.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So, have you heard of Ray Kurzweil's predictions of nanobot technology?
I have not.
Okay. Do you kind of have a relative idea of what nanobot technology is?
In the slightest.
Okay. Now, Ray Kurzweil predicted that by 2045, nanobots will be in our brains, and we will be able to simply download information to our brains just by plugging our brains into a computer. Do you think that's possible?
I think it's possible, but I don't think society would ever let that happen.
Why do you think that?
Because if that happens, then robots will just start taking over the world slowly but surely, and society's pretty much screwed after that, though.
Okay. Now, like, negative impact-wise, you said robots taking over the world. Do you think that'd be the only negative impact if this technology was available?
What if you download a virus?
True.
You can download a virus into your brain, and then what are the repercussions of that?
Alright. Now, say this technology was available tomorrow, would you do it?
No.
No? Why is that?
It's just not natural.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's not the natural run of things.
Okay. Alright, sweet, thanks. Alright, so, do you know of Ray Kurzweil's prediction of nanobot technology?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you know anything about nanobots?
Not really, no.
Okay. Well, do you think it is possible that in the year 2045, people would simply be able to plug their brains into computers and download information?
I don't think by the year 2045 that would really be possible. I mean, what is that? 30-some years.
Yeah.
30-some years ago, they thought we were going to have a lot more technology than we do now. Hovercraft, whatever you want to do. It'd really be possible by that year. Do I think it's possible in the future somehow? Yes. I can't give you an exact timeline, but I think that there's definitely advances in the technological field that could be made to get to that point. I just don't see it happening as soon as 30 years, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Now, with that technology, if and when it does happen, do you think there could be some, like, extreme negative side effects with it?
Oh yeah. I think that there could definitely be some negative side effects. I mean, so much individualism of a person could be really lost, in that everyone now is getting the same information, same kinds of things, that opinions and things would kind of become a thing of the past, and people would be more focused on knowing the same exact facts. So there'd be a much more conformity in society. At the same time, there could be a variety of issues when you plug stuff into your brain that things could go wrong. Even if it's a rarity, there's still concerns for me, who I'm pre-med, and the idea of putting something into your brain at any sort for something that's not exactly necessary all the time scares me, I guess.
Now, let's say this technology is available to anyone in the world. Would you do it?
I probably would.
Yeah.
My family and myself would really, really highly value education, and I'm always the kind of person who I really like to acquire information and be smart, be intelligent, be aware of my surroundings and the society around me. And I think that if it's a tool that could help me, yeah, but I definitely see that there could be disadvantages. So.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
So all of these responses really interested me. I was very, very intrigued with how people responded and how people were really interested in what nanotechnology was, even if they didn't know exactly what it was. While I was only able to feature a few of the interviews in this documentary, I was able to capture interviews with about 46 people. Of course, that ranged from old to young, faculty to student, different majors. I tried to really spread it out. I really wish I could have done more interviews, but it was simply hard. A lot of people really didn't have the time when I was out on the streets to participate in the interviews. But with the 46 people, I was very, very surprised. About 82% of the people that I asked, what is nanotechnology? Do you know what it is? They were unable to answer. They had no idea what nanotechnology was. However, with that statistic, there were 78% of the people interviewed that said the nanotechnology was possible. While they were not completely aware of the technology, what it entailed, they were able to make that assumption that it was possible. Now, I found that quite interesting, and really wonder if that statistic would have changed with, if people were more educated on the nanotechnology. However, I was
really curious as to if I were to interview more people, say hundreds, maybe even 1,000, if I had a ton of time, if they would be able to respond in the manner and the statistic, the percentage that my small group of 46 people did. Now, while I'm unable to officially answer if the nanotechnology in the brain is actually possible, if it will happen, if it will not happen, I mean, I'm not able to predict the future. But what I did find is that people do recognize that technology is advancing. I mean, for instance, if you look at an iPod, look at how the iPods advanced, how they went from the very tiny, almost brick-like iPod Nanos, now the iPod Touch, the iPhones, iPhone 4, and many generations beyond. Look at smartphones, look at computers. Simply what Ray Kurzweil is predicting is that advancement. Granted, the years may be off, the timing may be off. Maybe, sure, nanotechnology isn't possible by 2045. Maybe that's your ideal. But it is possible. Technology really can take us anywhere, and the fact that it has advanced so far in the last 10, 15 years is really astonishing to me. I'm very interested in how technology has advanced, especially through my generation, being born in 1993. I remember when computers were first coming out, and when cell phones started to become smaller and smaller, and nowadays it's a normal thing, it's taken for granted. But what is amazing to me, and what I simply want to leave everyone with, is the fact that Ray Kurzweil is predicting pretty accurately how this will continue to advance. Who knows how far it can go? Who knows the exact timing? Granted, I don't think his timing is completely accurate. I think that's already obvious in many of his predictions, but he has been right on the predictions and on the fact that it will occur. Now, as far as nanotechnology in the brain, I believe, my personal opinion, that it is possible. It can happen, and with a lot of scientific work in the human anatomy, but also computer science, I think it'll occur, and I think it'll occur one day in our generation.
I mean, what are we? We're information. We're patterns of information. We back up the information on our computers. We don't back up our mind file. Eventually we'll be able to do that. It is a perspective to understand the exponential nature of progress in information technology. I think it's important that people understand it for a practical reason, which is it is these technologies that have the seeds of the solution to the major problems we have. They also introduce new dangers. We need to focus and understand what the future brings.